It wasn't that long ago that I put together a new patient analyzer, because people would call me and they would say, my new patients just suck. I don't get enough. I'm getting 2, 3, 4, 5 a week, and I want to get 5, 10, 15 extra new patients above what I'm doing right now. And I'd say, okay. So we started to take them down through an analysis, and eventually we came up with this sheet here. It's called the New Patient Analyzer. Now, literally hundreds of you have recently requested this, and you're holding these. And people have sent me emails. One of the reasons for this particular video is people are saying, how do I use this? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the analyzer. It's a tool that I use with clients, and it's particularly helpful in figuring out where your new patients are strong, where your new patients are weak, and what you need to do. So let's just take a look at this here. In fact, I've got it blown up here behind me, and what I want to do is I'm going to refer to this. So you would put your name right there in the top, and then it says rate yourself on a 1 to 10 scale, or a 0 to 10 scale. And 10 is really, really good, and we do it all the time. And 0 is I may never have heard of it, or I heard of it, but I don't do it. So let me show you how this works. Number 1, the 5-star 6-pack. I have 3 effective internal and external new patient marketing tools that I use. Now, I found out that the real pros run simultaneous programs. In other words, it's not I run one program and then I run another and then I run another. I'm going to run 3 internal and 3 external at the same time. Now, you might feel like somebody juggling, but eventually you get really, really good at it if you've got some good training and some good coaching and you've got some talent for this. But you want to have 3 great internal and external new patient programs running at one time in your practice. So I want you to give yourself a score for that. 10? 10? Did you get a 10? Great. So you're probably not worried about new patients if you gave yourself a 10. If you gave yourself a low score, that's something you need to work at. Now let's take a look at the next one here. New patient processing plan. I can easily process twice my new patient goal each week. Now the reason I put that here is because we find people, we help them with their new patients, all of a sudden they're adding an additional 3 to 5 extra new patients a week, week after week after week. Now, let's just run the math on this. To process new patients for some people can take a long time, and they're not that efficient. If you dump a lot of new patients on a practice like that, one of the things that will happen is the doctor will start to run behind, pressure will build in the practice, and you know what happens? Pressure in a normal environment finds a way to equalize, and those new patients will drop back down again, and the practice goes back down to its old level. Has this ever happened to you? You ran a big promotion, you got a whole bunch of new patients in, the practice ballooned up, but the pressure got too great, and then all of a sudden the practice started to seek its own level again? Well, the reason is, at least one reason, is that you don't have a real efficient way of processing new patients. So here's my question for you. Could you easily handle, ask your front desk CA this, by the way. They're the people who really know this. Could I easily handle an additional 3 to 5 extra new patients? Now, I don't know what your PVA is, patient visit average. Is the average patient coming in to see you 25, 30 times? Well, if you added an additional 5 new patients a week and did that week after week, your practice would grow by 150 visits a week. Now, for some of you, that would be over double the practice. So I want you to rate yourself, and you know, if you give yourself easy marks, that's not necessarily the best way to do it. So rate yourself tough on this one. Now, we go down through this whole thing. One of the things that, let me show you here. Oh, the invitation to good health. What's that? What's an invitation to good health? Somebody asked. So the invitation to good health is a special way that we use to give people free consult and free examination for a friend to come back in the office. So there are triggers for that conversation. There are 5 things that patients say that tell you, maybe not directly, but they tell you that you should have an invitation to good health close by and be able to engage that person in a conversation. And these are things that you practice, scripts that you have loaded in your brain and things that you practice. And then you do the right thing at the right time, the right number of patients, and what will happen is that your internal referrals will come up. Now, this is one of my favorites right here, is the market relations person. I have an expertly trained and functioning community outreach assistant. I think that every single doctor watching this video would love to have a super duper COA, community outreach assistant, to represent them in the community. Now, most of the time they're women, some of the time they're men, but all of the time they take the chiropractic message into the community. They might do screenings, massage events, they might do health talks for you, while you stay back in the clinic and you work on patients. One of the great pictures I have in my mind is one of our clients said that he knew he was living the life when he walked up to the front desk, taking a patient to scheduling them for another appointment, and his COA was standing there and she was waving a stack of new patient appointments at him. She had 8 people that she had just booked from an event that day. Now, doesn't that sound great? I want you to rate yourself. Do you know how to do this position? Now, here's one of the things that I want to invite you to do with this. Go all the way through this, score this out, and then I want you to send it to me. Now, there's a send it to me number down here. And what will happen is, if you want to sit down with one of either the New Patient Academy or the 5-Star Management New Patient Coaches, we'll get you an appointment. We'll go over this with you. We'll talk to you about, if your numbers are low, how we can make them higher. And then you get a chance to discern if this is something that you might want to partake in. So the analyzer is to tell you where you are, to tell you if you're strong, to tell you if you're weak, to remind you of different things that you might want to do. Maybe there are things on this list you think, holy cow, I used to do that. I think I should start doing that. But fill this out, send it into us. There's the number right down here. That'll come right into us. And then what will happen is that somebody will get in touch with you if you give us your phone number, your email address, and you can sit down and have a strategy session with one of our new patient coaches and find out if you can double, triple, quadruple your new patients. You get new patients right, you got a great practice. You struggle with new patients, you're always going to struggle. So it's time to grab new patient problem by the lapels and teach it who's boss. Talk to you later. This is Dr. Noel Lloyd for 5-Star Management.